Hey there, welcome back. Welcome back to another installment. We are in November. Wow, time is flying. So I'm doing this video. I'm a little late, so I apologize for that. I was waiting for the Fed meeting, and I want to talk about another cut just happened, how it affects mortgage rates, how it affects the market overall. So I'm doing this a couple of days after the election. Hey, finally over, finally behind us. I don't know what you think about. I don't talk politics here, but I don't care what you think about social issues. This kind of issues, number one priority for me is fiscal. And when I'm seeing debt being, doubled and tripled, and basically at some point we can't pay the debt, that makes United States non-existent anymore. And I don't care what the special interests are. If we don't have the good foundation, financial foundation of this country, nobody's going to win. Okay, and I think you have to look at the core before you look at anything else. Yes, too much spending, too many expenses, too many wars, too much stuff going on. Every time I'm on the street, I'm seeing more and more homeless, and I've seen this literally past 3 years, 4 years. That's been really escalating. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen next year. Now, we still have issues, and we are going to look at those things, and we're going to look at how it affects the real estate market, because most of you have come for that. So we're going to talk about it. I hope it'll be interesting and make this really something that you can hang your coat on. So anyway, if you don't know who I am, you should. But if you don't, my name is Orzhel. I'm a broker owner of Realty Max, operating for the last 22 years, serving communities in North County and specifically San Marcos. So we're going to covering. So as always, I start with the macro, and then we're going to go down to the micro, specific to neighborhoods. I'm going to be covering Santa Fe Hills. We're going to touch on Rancho Santalina, which is really next door to us. And later in the video, I'll touch on Discovery. So anyway, if you want to look at your specific, like what's selling, what's not selling, you can just jump to the end of the video and look at it. But I always try to look at the whole picture, right? So what's going on with the market, what's going on with things. So the reason I brought this up is because my newsletter's out, and let's see if I can flash it here. Yeah, oops, that's not what I wanted to do, but that's what I got. So my newsletter is out. Oh, I still can't see it. That's wonderful. I'm still here, guys. So hold on. Well, that was weird, but now it's working. So anyway, so my newsletter is out, and what I really wanted to talk about, and I'm just going to use this as a guide, what's happening, right? So this one is for Santa Fe Hills, but we'll talk about things. By the way, we do have a new program. I guarantee a home sold at your price or better, or I will sell it for free. If you want more information, feel free to get in touch with me. As you know, if you've followed me and you've seen my listings come on and come off the market, you know that the majority of homes sell for a premium, and my average is still, as of this video, my 4-year average is still running right around 12, a little slightly over 12%. So get that aside. I always going to start with the most important part. The reason I actually held back on a video is the mortgage rate. So what I want to talk about mortgage rates is, about a month ago, the Federal Reserve reserved the overnight lending rate. That's what they do between banks. That was dropped to 0.5 point, and we had a reduction in mortgage rates. It's not a direct impact to them, but it does have some overall effect, because it affects a 30-year, then it affects a 10-year, and most mortgage rates kind of follow the 10-year yield, right? So I think I showed this before, but let me show it again. So here are the mortgage rates right here, and as you can see, this is Freddie Mac, I believe. But regardless of that, as you can see, when this rate drop occurred, the rates went down to about 6.16%. You can get rates at that. I've seen some with some buy downs at high 5. So regardless of that, what you saw almost immediately after, you saw the rates climbing back up, right? And they really climbed back up to 6.8, 6.9, depending on your credit. So why is this happening? And that's what I kind of discussed in my newsletter. And the bottom line is, the market is sensing that we are going to have to, there's going to be inflation coming up, right? Some people say inflation, some people say it's going to be the opposite. But overall, The job numbers have come lower. I think there was only like 10 or 15,000 jobs that were added in the United States in the last reading. So things are slowing definitely down. Now there's many things that are obviously impacting that. The cost of living, minimum wage, all those things are impacting the economy. But as you can see, even today, I'm doing this about 12 o'clock on the 7th. Even today, the Fed dropped the rate another quarter point. But you'll see the mortgage rates are going to be more or less unaffected. And that really is happening because the market is seeing that basically it's in between. It doesn't know which way to go. I foresee inflation, right? And the reason I foresee inflation because ultimately, especially the past 4 years, we've been taking a lot of debt, wars, and giving money to different countries. And the only people who have been really making money are the military-industrial complex, right? If you look at overall people, the price have been going up. Yes, they've mellowed out. They're not going up as fast, but inflation is there. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. So I think the new president, Trump, is going to have a very difficult time trying to contain that. I'm not sure what he has. But if you just think of the debt, the current debt right now in the United States, about getting close to $37 trillion, right? And even if there's no additional debt generated, which there will likely be, the interest payment on that debt, yearly annual interest payments, are around $1 trillion. Just think about it, $1 trillion just in interest, right? So I think the government will have no option but to lower the interest rate so that interest payments are going to be lowered, right? And I think with that, obviously, there's going to be probably impact to some kind of inflation. I'm not sure exactly how they're going to be able to deal with the inflation, what they're going to be able to do, but I am seeing inflation likely continuing. And that brings us back to real estate. Why am I bringing this up? I believe the real estate prices at some point will continue moving up, although right now they've been somewhat flat. And I think we have an affordability crisis more so than, it's a combination, more so than availability of listing crisis. We have that. And the only way we're going to get out of this really is by building more homes, right? The problem in California, obviously, there's limited land. The cost of building in California is hideous, right? Permits, all various groups, environmental stuff. It just way costly. Plus labor cost, material cost. So the only way people can build, a lot of builders are building either townhouses or they're building condos, because it's really virtually impossible to build and make any money for a builder anything under probably $1.2 million. So I'm not seeing that problem go away, but the only way to get rid of this problem is to build more homes. So obviously regulation is going to have to be pulled back. Maybe we're not going to have solar in all the homes, whatever that is, that needs to be worked out in California. I don't think Trump will have any kind of impact on that because California is California. So I don't think that problem is going to go away, right? Now I'm thinking giving somebody 25 or 30,000, 40,000 towards a down payment is going to make any impact. The only thing it's going to do is increase demand because more people are going to think they're going to buy a house. So all that's going to drive the prices even up. So in my newsletter, I cover something that I've covered before. If you are on the sidelines and you have kids, for example, maybe they're 12, maybe they're 10, I really would advise you, if you do have money you can't, to buy a property for them now, okay? I know you may be waiting for the rates to go down, but when rates go down, that's going to increase demand. If it increases demand, it's going to only increase the price. So right now, since the market's somewhat slower, there you have a possibility of working at a better price, better terms, etc., where in the market that's going to accelerate, you want to have an opportunity to do so. Same goes for people who are looking to move. Like I said, if you need to move, I mean, most home sales that I deal with in the past, I don't know, a year and a half, have been people who there's been some kind of a death in the family. There've been the people wanting to move out of state, divorce, those kind of life events that people still sell. So but a lot of people who are locked in at a 2.5%, 3.5%, 4% rate are, they can't afford to buy their house over again. So, but I think if you're going to need to sell your property, right? If you need to buy another property and you're going to need to sell your property to access your equity, which means you're going to have to buy subject to you selling, right? you have a better chance of doing that kind of a contingent off, making a contingent offer now versus doing it when the market is hot. You can have a lot of people that are going to competing for the same listings. And with my listings, you already know you already have that already. And if you're a seller and you have a lot of offers on the table, and you have a couple that are contingent based on somebody needing to sell, or you have someone that is ready to buy, you're obviously going to go with the one that's ready to go. You're not going to take chances. You want to have some kind of certainty. So if you are going to be selling, if you need to move, you probably want to get in touch with me right away. We can talk about our program, how it will benefit you. And like I said, whatever you do, like I said, don't be naive. Agents charge based on what they deliver in value, right? A couple of times I already heard this here, somebody hired somebody else for less. And basically what the agent told them is basically, hey, homes sell themselves. Well, if that's the case, why do you even hire an agent, right? You don't need an agent if that's the truth. Or the agent's really telling you that they have no impact. They have no value they're going to bring to the table. As you know, with me, most homes sell for premium. And I want to say it once again, some sell for 8%, 2%. I've had some that sold for 30% over asking price. So on average, we're still running around 12%. But be that as it may, it's your equity, right? And it's very easy to lose money when you're negotiating. And as I made a comment, from what I'm seeing, probably about 7 out of 10 homes that are sold, they leave tens of thousands on the table. If you don't want to do that, I don't care who you're going to go with. You probably should be talking to me at least, having a conversation. And at this point, you should decide what you want to do. Okay. So let me go back. I want to just show you something really quick if I can, and pop it up here, because everything that I do is really based on this. Let's see if I can bring it back here. So everything I do, whoops, I don't know why I'm having problems today. So let's bring myself back here. Sorry about that. And try this one more time. I don't know why it's having all these issues. Whoops, am I back? Okay. So everything that I'm seeing right now, it comes back to this, right? This is the curve I use. So you can see about 1 week, right? This is the maximum amount of time when your listing hits the market. That's when it's new, when everybody's focused on it. And this is where I do my best work. I'm getting all the buyers, pre-approved buyers, to come in and look at the property. And really, ideally, I'm looking for them to bid up the property. When buyers compete amongst themselves, they're not going to be trying to negotiate with you. Now negotiations between the buyers, right? So that's the best possible position for a seller to be in. And as you can see, you want to be on this side of the curve, because everything after that affects your value. Time in the market is not to your benefit. Time in the market is actually a detriment to you. The longer you stay in the market, the lower the value of your property becomes. So you really want to make sure you understand that concept. That concept never goes away. I don't care what kind of market it is. The only time maybe the market is going up and you overprice, for example, at some point, it will pick up and absorb your property. But if you waited and put the home on the market at right where you need to sell it, you would have sold it for more anyway, right? So it's a losing game. Let's see what else I want to talk to you about. I have some things here. Let's see. Sorry about that. Let's see. Mortgage rates we covered. I don't see mortgage rates going down. If they go down, it's going to be probably next year, maybe second quarter. We'll see some kind of effect. But overall, the market's still good. It's still a seller's market. You just have to have a good agent who understands social psychology, buyer psychology, how to really leverage the market to bring the buyers and make them bid for your property, right? Because really, when buyers bid, and what I do is I create a semi-auction effect. When buyers see other people want the same thing, it increases their motivation, their interest, they become more eager, and ultimately nobody wants to lose out to anybody else, especially if they want the property. There's the whole, some people call it herd mentality, some people call it social validation. Whichever way it is, it always impacts your price, okay? So my prediction, again, I think we're going to see, homes going up, unfortunately. I don't like seeing them like that. So if you have kids, I would really, I would urge you to think about buying something for them. You can make an investment property for yourself for now and do what you can to help them, because based on wage growth, it's way behind inflation. And if you look at inflation, look at the wage growth, it's not even close to what it needs to be. And it's just the way it is. You can't change that. All you can do is control your future by buying assets. So if we do have inflation, if you own assets, I don't care if it's stocks, bonds, if it's real estate, you ultimately are going to win. Okay. What else? So that's all I want to talk about. Market is doing well. I'm going to go ahead, jump in and talk about Santa Fe Hills real quick. And then I'm going to go to Rancho Santalina. Hang on here. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump on Rancho Santalina. I pulled it up here so we can actually take a look and see. Like I said, Rancho Santalina, you're right next to Santa Fe Hills, which is a much bigger community. I think Santalina has about 210 homes. What can I tell you about this particular neighborhood? We have 2 homes on the market. We have Avenida Regina, 5-bedroom, 3-bath, 2778, 1,275,000. Let's take a look at some pictures here really quick. And here is the pictures, I should say. Clean, wainscot on there, carpet on the stairs, looks like laminate. See, to me, this is problematic when you have two different type of laminate. Maybe it's just the angle, but it just looks different. But overall, the kitchen's clean. Everything looks clean. Quartz. Looks like a nice house, quartz, nice touches throughout, right? So just look at the built-ins, right? You just saw that built-in, nice built-in. So like I said, nice contemporary touches, carpet on top, laminate on the bottom. Looks like they did some work, as you can see, to the master. Is it going to sell at that price? We'll see. I guess time will tell. Now, one thing with obviously Rancho Santalina, you have a higher Melrose for the whole community, and I think it's around 5K. So it makes a difference. Like I said, it impacts people overall numbers. Pretty good sized yard. So we'll keep an eye on it and see what happens, right? So this is. Again, Regina, Avenida, 1,275,000, 22 days in the market. I think they're going to be lowering the price. I think it's probably a little overdone, but we'll see. Time will show, right? I've been wrong before. And if the market usually does something, as you know, time in the market is an impact to value. So right now, 22 days in the market, the value has started to impact. Another one in the market has been on the market for 51 days, 1672 North Las Flores. 5.4. This is a larger property, right? So 33.35, and the one here is 27.78, and this one's on the market for 1,289,000. It went from 1,299,000, 1.3 almost to 1. So about 10,000. Personally, I don't think 10,000 is going to make much of a difference to most people. It's a kind of a non-starter. It's been on the market for a long time, and you already know my feelings about that. Somebody already, from my point, the market has spoken. But again, so we'll see what that does. So let's look at some close. Really, there's only one that closed CaDRE, that closed in late September. There really hasn't been anything else. As you can see, there's 3 property. 874 La Venta, 1794 Regina, and Via La Venta. They all are withdrawn, meaning they've been taken off the market because, well, I don't know what happened here. 0 days in the market. I think that I remember this one. They just changed their mind. The plans changed. This one was on the market for 10 days. This is 114 days. Obviously nobody bought it. So the market rejected that, for lack of better words. So really the only one we need to talk about is this one here. As you can see, 14 days in the market, 902 CaDRE, 453, 2875 square feet. Originally they had it at 1,295,000. And it looks like after 14 days, they got an offer. They sold it for 1.2. Let me see if there's anything here of interest for me. If there's any concessions, I don't see any concessions, so bunch back. So that's all I have for that. Like I said, if you're looking to sell, if you're looking to have a quick consultation, see if I'm the right person for you. Rancho Santalina, I welcome your calls. Like I said, there's no obligation. If you can find somebody better, great, okay? But that's all I have for Santalina. Okay, we'll see you on the next one. Thanks.